I just wanted my mom. I just wanted so much to be with my mom.
As a young girl, Carmen Velasquez longed for her mother's love and protection from her stepfather, who beat her often.
I just was hoping that she would just put her arms around me and say, it's over, you know. You're gonna be my daughter and I'm gonna be your mom and we're gonna get through this.
But her mother, Dorothy, a drug addict and alcoholic, was oblivious to her daughter's pain. She was passed out the night Carmen, at 9 years old, was raped by her stepfather.
After he was done, I went into my room and shut the door, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. I think I cried about for a week. Something had been taken away from me that I could never get back. My innocence was gone, and I felt something leave me, like I can't describe it.
A year later, Carmen ran away to Salt Lake City. She stole food and slept under cars until she learned prostitution would keep her fed and warm.
Well, I had no place to go, but I was not going to go back home.
Carmen was apprehended as a runaway and spent 3 years in a juvenile detention center. At 16, she was released to her mother, who introduced her to crack cocaine and drug dealing.
Nothing like a mother-daughter relationship there, just totally business.
One night, they were smoking crack when Carmen began convulsing and went limp.
And I said, oh my God, don't take her, take me. I called on the name of God, a person that never knew God, didn't want to know God, but I called on his name.
Finally, Carmen started coming to. It was then Dorothy had her own awakening.
I keep hearing a voice say, you need Jesus, you need Jesus. I didn't know God at that time or anything, but I know that if you don't know God, you're gonna know his voice. And he said, life or death, choose, and I ran out of that place.
That night, Dorothy gave her life to Jesus Christ. Carmen, on the other hand, remained trapped in her addictions. She spent the next several years in and out of jail, avoiding her mother and anyone else who tried to talk to her about God.
I hated who I became. I hated wearing the mask because if they could really see who I was, that I was so messed up and broken.
In 2007, Carmen was behind bars again when she decided to go to a Bible study.
These people are just like me. They've been through the same thing, you know, if not worse. I mean, they're telling their story and how God saved their life. I knew for once in my life that something had to change. Something had to change or I was gonna die.
Inspired, Carmen started reading the Bible, looking for answers. Then a few days later, she was waiting to be released on bond when she felt an overwhelming sense of death.
If I leave here, I'm gonna die. And all of a sudden I start screaming, God, I wanna live. And the best way I can explain it is I felt like something lift off my shoulders, like all this guilt, shame, everything I'd been carrying around was gone. I was set free. Instantly, I was set free.
Carmen says her desire for drugs disappeared completely, and right away, she gave her life to Jesus Christ.
When I walked out of that jail, I was singing, I am a child of God.
She went home to live with her mother, who, because of her new life in Christ, was able to love and care for her daughter.
It's all said and done. At the end of the day, she's my mom, and I smother her and hug her and kiss her and, you know, love on her, and she's become the mama bear big time.
I pray every day that his love flows through me, that she'll feel my love for her is authentic because he loves her and I love her too.
Deep down.
Today, Carmen ministers to inmates, fulfilling a promise she made on the day she was released.
When I left that jail, I turned around with not even knowing what I was saying. I said, I'll be back. And not going back with shackles on my feet and chains on my hands like I once have before. Now I would go in taking the gospel of Jesus Christ.